Well, I can't believe I ruined this pot for nothing. All right, so here's a first look at this. I have not really looked at too much of this yet. I just cleaned off all the mouse droppings and kind of sprayed it down before I brought it in here. From what I understand, this was sitting in a shed for the last 35 to 40 years. Taking a look at the frame code here and the engine code here. This is a 1981 Husqvarna 250. The close ratio with the metal fuel tank made in Sweden. So pretty cool. Don't see that too much anymore. Like I said, I haven't really looked at this much. I have no idea what's waiting for me here. Did it run when it was parked in the shed? I have no idea. What I do know is there is some fuel in this tank, which is a little bit concerning since it's been sitting there for so long, but that's neither here nor there. We will go ahead and start inspecting this, seeing what we got to do. So let's just do a quick inspection around here. So clutch cable works, appears to engage the clutch. Front brakes are weak, but they do work. Rear brakes I know work. Obviously these tires are going to have to be replaced. What I noticed when I was moving this is that the fuel line from the petcock completely disintegrated, so we'll need to do that. Obviously, I think I'll just replace all of these lines here since they've been sitting for God knows how long. What else we got? We got a lot of duct tape holding stuff on here. What do we got going on compression wise? Decent compression. I don't know what the number is, but we'll check that for sure. We'll check the compression, the spark. We'll get the carb cleaned out and some new lines. So first and foremost, I just want to get some of this old fuel out of here. Let's see if this petcock works. No would be the answer. Completely dry. So because the petcock is not releasing fuel, let's see what we can see inside the tank here. Oh, obviously this line is disintegrated as well. Let's see if you can see in there. You can't. That smell is just ghastly. Interesting. Here's the moment of truth. Uh-oh. Not good. Let's bring this outside and clean this out. So the throttle is stuck. And obviously the bowl hasn't been taken off in 40 years or maybe ever, so it's pretty well stuck on there. See if I can just loosen it a little bit. All right. All right, so it's pretty hot, but it's not coming out, so we'll have to use a blowtorch. I'm gonna put some WD-40s, penetrating fluid, just a bunch of crap in there. We'll let it sit overnight, come back, see what we can do next time. So we're getting a better look at this now. You can see this. Let's pull this out. So this slide is just completely seized in there. So try as we might here, we can try to dig some of this dirt out, but we might have to get to some more serious measures. We're here in the kitchen. I'm sorry to my mother who gave me this pot, but we are gonna be cooking up a different kind of carb in here. Let's try this. We're gonna see if it'll expand this chamber enough that we can pull the slide out, and also the float bowl, which is also stuck. So let's see what we can do here. Hopefully this doesn't boil over. So we're getting some weird bubbles. That's smelling pretty weird. We got the place pretty well ventilated. The smell is pretty unholy here. But, oh shit, I probably shouldn't be breathing that in. Let's take this outside and see if we can pry it out. I was kind of hoping the slide would just fall out like it did in the videos online, but nothing ever works out like you see it online. So let's see. Well, it's still stuck on there. Really? Man, this thing is jammed in there. Well, I can't believe I ruined this pot for nothing. This thing is completely seized in there. That's crazy. So not only did it not release the slide, but it also didn't even release the float bowl, which is still stuck on there. So I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty much just welded in there at this point. So I don't even know if you can get this carb anymore, but I'll see if I can find one. was wondering why it was so loud. There you go. I don't know why it's like that. Well, obviously this old girl still needs a lot of work in order to be running in tip-top shape. For sure, it still needs tires, brakes, a top end for that compression. It definitely needs some dialing in with the fueling and a bunch of other stuff. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the answer to the question of will it run after 40 years is yes.